had some time at the cabin recently. You all know that is where I get some of my best quiet time, my pondering time to think of all the things and just reflect on life and the season that we're walking through. And I just was completely overwhelmed with complete gratitude, total gratitude, just a heart so full of thankfulness for this life that I get to live. And I found myself wondering, when did this become not enough? At what point in my life was this not enough? I hope you find some encouragement in today's video as I share with you a few random days in my life. So I got morning chores done. It is 9:30, which is a little bit later than I typically like to start our homeschool day. So we are now going to sit down and do some family stuff with my older two, which is their anatomy and physiology homework from co-op. My youngest is in the shower. I'm going to reheat my coffee again and get this homeschool day started, and I'm excited to bring you guys along for something a little bit different. I have the house chores somewhat done and somewhat put in order, so I'm gonna go sit with my older two and we're gonna dive into some of our subjects together and get that done for this portion of our homeschool day. The question I found pondering my mind was, where's your focus? As a homemaker, where is your focus? Who are you working to please? And I've talked about this before and I've shared this before, but I felt it all the more real in my own personal life in this point in time. I get to stay home and raise my babies, to homeschool them, to serve my husband and my family. This brings me so much joy, total overwhelming gratitude. But that question, that lingering question, since when did this become not enough? When was this not enough? Serving my home and my husband and my family, being the keeper of our home. When did this change? So I sat and pondered in my restlessness. It's truly always been enough, and just what the Lord has asked of me. The lie of the enemy is always do more. Work a little bit harder. Strive a little harder. Maybe if you work harder, those things that you're hoping and praying for will be within your reach, right? Because if I worked harder, if I did it, as if all of these things are in my power, which in a sense, yes, but I will tell you, I am one who is so incredibly guilty of being a dreamer and a thinker and a doer, and I am so driven and so passionate about so many things, and sometimes too many at once. I am so guilty of that, which is why I'm sharing this with you. Satan likes to tell me, you're not busy enough, you're not doing enough. There's something better for you. Distracting me from seeing the goodness and the blessings that I have right in front of me, running in circles of chaos, unrest, busyness, discontentment. I have taken my eyes off of the race that God has set before me, to the left or to the right. That distraction, that's where it happens. Satan will use any and every avenue he can to grasp our attention, to gain our focus. And if he can achieve his end goal, mission accomplished. Do not take your eyes off the race the Lord has set for you. Stay on the straight path. Don't look to the left or to the right. Don't be tempted by the world. Stay rooted, stay present, stay close to the Lord, and follow your race, because it will always be enough. If you struggle with a discontentment heart, with feeling like you should be doing more, like homemaking isn't enough, like being a wife and a mama and raising your babies is not enough, like taking care of and serving your husband and babies is somehow missing out on something. What if, in fact, they are the thing? What if, in fact, they are the greatest work you will ever do? Honoring your husband, loving your babies. A very dear friend once told me, no matter how big your sandcastle, it's all still sand. How much truth there is in that statement. Now, since we've been talking about serving our families and our homes and being homemakers, I want to share with you something kind of fun that I did for my family recently, which is make homemade elderberry syrup. Join me for the recipe on how I made homemade elderberry syrup for my family. One swallow, maybe, left, and we are just entering the season of sickness. So some of you, again, may not be interested in making your own. There are many outlets and places that you can buy pre-made elderberry syrup and store it in the fridge. They also have gummies. Not all elderberry syrup or elderberry gummies, for that matter, are created equal. So do your research. But if you want to tackle it on your own, join me. Let's do this. So for this specific recipe that I'm using today, you need 1 cup of elderberries dried, 2 tablespoons of dried ginger root, 3 to 4 tablespoons of cinnamon, and then also 12 cloves, as well as 1 cup of raw honey, but we are not going to do that part yet because you want to save that part for the end. You do not want to boil your honey or get your honey warm by any means because it diminishes the properties of the honey that you're actually hoping to get by putting it in your elderberry syrup. So I'm going to start with pouring 4 cups of water into my saucepan. Once you have your water in your saucepan, you're going to take it over to the stove and turn your oven to high heat. So you want to get this water boiling, and while you're waiting, you're going to go ahead and add your elderberries, your ginger, your cinnamon, and your cloves. Again, do not add the honey yet because the heat will destroy the medicinal benefits of the honey. So do not do that yet. Save it till the very, very end. But I wanted to show you these cute little guys. Look at how tiny these dried elderberries are. So crazy, incredible what these are packed full of. If you are not familiar with the benefits of elderberries and taking elderberry syrup daily, here are just a few. Elderberries help reduce inflammation in the body, your muscles, your joints, supports digestion. There are positive effects in the heart and vascular health, also a healthy blood sugar response. Elderberries contain 40% of the recommended daily value of vitamin C. It's an antioxidant that helps support a healthy immune system and helps promote a balance of gut bacteria. There are so many other benefits. Trust me, just look it up for yourself. But now I'm just sharing with you really quick that I am doing half Manuka honey and half local honey. Manuka honey is so expensive, but it is so incredibly good for you. And so I wanted to gather some of that added benefit of using Manuka honey, but also the benefit of having local honey as well. So I just did half and half a cup of Manuka honey, half a cup of local honey in my recipe. It was also a cheaper way to kind of double the effect and get extra out of my Manuka honey. It is rather expensive. And I was kind of giggling because when we took a class on this, a couple friends and I took a class and the lady was teaching us how to make this. And I knew I wanted to share it with you guys, but she said that there's the rich man's version and the poor man's version. And I just fell somewhere in between. I'm like, I love the idea of Manuka honey, but it was like, I think $70 for one thing of Manuka honey. And then I also wanted the benefits of local honey. So I met in the middle, half a cup of Manuka, half a cup of local, and it tastes amazing, you guys. This is delicious. And now you see I have all my little babies sitting in the strainer, dripping into a bowl. The stuff is like liquid gold, and I did not want to waste any bit of it. So I actually let it sit here for 2 hours before I finally went ahead and dumped it into our jars. For now that everything has cooled off to room temperature, I'm adding in the Manuka honey and the local honey and letting that dissolve nicely. And then we're gonna go ahead and empty it into the containers. And look at what I had, guys. This was a bottle that came with my kit that I purchased. And then I just went ahead and reused this bottle from Rowe Casa that I had on hand. That is what I got out of one batch of elderberry syrup. I'm so grateful. I hope you love this video. and I will see you for another one very soon.